The Peaceful Solution Character Education Program will stop school shootings if implemented into our schools. As a parent, it is a natural feeling to want to guard and protect your child from all harm, to comfort them when they're sad and rejoice with them when they're glad, to watch them take the first steps in their lives, to hear the very first word they will speak. All of these things are a complete joy to a parent. As a child grows, so does the education that must be given so that our children are prepared for the challenges of life that lie ahead. Some children may never get the monetary riches of life, but does that make it any less valuable? As a parent, the most rewarding thing one could receive back from a child is to see the values that were taught to them be carried out and spread amongst their fellow peers, setting an example of what life could be for all of us if we were to value all life and respect all people. To see your children not only appreciate the values taught to them, but also develop a love so great that they themselves set aside parts of their own lives to help others learn to find peace in theirs. We as parents work so hard to make our world a better place so that our children would never have to experience the mistakes that we made as children growing up, to save them from the pain that we experienced. Sadly, we find this has become a battle that no one could have ever imagined. We now find that our children are experiencing horrors that we could have never dreamed of. Imagine your children wanting to make a difference so bad that they saved every penny of their allowance from side jobs such as raking leaves, mowing lawns, shoveling snow, and so on, just to travel once a year to speak with our nation's leaders in Washington, D.C., on ways they could help bring peace so that not only their generation, but also those that follow could have lives without worries of harm and true peace. Then face the facts when those children who worked so hard come to you and ask this.
On December 14th, 2012, our nation learned of one of the greatest tragedies to take place in our lifetime.
What we heard that day was considered to be unthinkable until it actually occurred.
A school shooting had taken place in Newtown, Connecticut,
where most of the victims were between 5 and 10 years old.
Later that day, Mr. President, you addressed the nation and spoke on how something had to be done.
You cried, and we cried with you.
We've traveled to Washington, D.C. every year since 2009 to meet with members of the Congress and the Senate.
In 2010, we were also joined by your older brother, Malik Obama, in Washington, D.C.
to speak about the need for character education in all walks of life.
Mr. President, we have a method,
A proven method,
that would start to put an end to all the unnecessary misery we see, not only in our great nation, but also in the world around us.
you, Mr. President, are not the blame, but you are the one that can help push forth the answer.
Mr. President, it is a fact that the problems we ignore turn into our society's worst disasters.
If we can spend over $711 billion on war in 1 year,
could we not take the cost of just one bomb and try to teach peace starting in 2013?
What could it possibly hurt to try?
Mr. President, the problem is not going to go away.
In fact, it's going to get worse until we start working together to make a change.
Mr. President,
We don't want to die like those children did.
I would much rather be a leader of peace
than have a memorial explaining my death.
In 2009, 10, 11, and 2012, we came to Washington
And asked for your and other leaders' help to begin this process.
We were told it was needed in all areas of life by the leaders we met with.
Mr. President, we're no longer asking.
We're begging.
Mr. President,
We don't want to die like those children did.
I would much rather be a leader of peace
Than have a memorial made explaining my death.
We go to schools
and shop at the same malls in our community.
We are taught that we need an education and that spending money will keep our economy strong.
It doesn't seem fair to fear being shot for what we are taught we need to do to build up our great country.
Mr. President, our society can be fixed.
It didn't break down in a day, and it will not be fixed in one night.
At what point is enough enough?
Our lives have just begun.
Students our age, Mr. President, were murdered.
This could have been my school, my family, and my friends.
This could have been me. Or me.
Mr. President, we know you care, and so do we.
Please, let's fix this great nation of ours together.
If you also want to help put a stop to the problems in our society and begin the healing process that will start with character education, you can start today by visiting our website at www.peacefulsolution.org, or you can call us toll-free at 1-888-613-9494. You can also email us at info@peacefulsolution.org. Please contact your local, state, and U.S. governmental representatives and ask them on how you can get character education implemented into your schools today. The Peaceful Solution Character Education Program will give children the sensible solution before they can even think to pick up a gun. Please, for our children's sake, let's start making a difference together today.